Good morning and welcome to our daily video log, Happy Tales 2.
The misadventures of 5 dogs and 2 humans traveling from Mobile, Alabama, all the way to Star Valley, Wyoming.
You know, I always enjoy the annual trip down memory lane.
Well, I find it kind of difficult to reminisce about things I never experienced. So maybe you should take the lead on this one.
Fair enough. As Steph and our crew enjoyed the excellent accommodations of the Marriott Aloft property, I eased out at 5 a.m. and made my way to Siegfried Health Center at St. John's Hospital, the site of one of my mentorships for my master's degree and my workout this morning. After a great swim and some resistance work, I shot some pictures and hustled back to the hotel so we could start today's adventures.
Our day started at Joe Station Dog Park, where we not only exercised our crew, but also met up with some new friends. Doug and Jazzy are regular visitors to this dog park and regale us with our own rescue dog stories. Always great to meet the kindred spirits of animal rescue. Shout out to Doug and Jazzy following along. Glad you both choose to follow us.
The crew exercised. It was time now to grab some breakfast and make it to one of Stephanie's favorite chain eating establishments.
No trip out west is complete without at least 1 or maybe 5 visits to Brahms. This has become a favorite of ours. This combination upscale fast food restaurant, local butcher, dairy and grocery mart uses locally sourced meat and dairy for their fantastic burgers. They have it all. And handcrafted shakes. They're awesome. I'm always excited when we hit the land of Brahms.
I agree. The food is excellent, but that's not the only reason you like this purple-themed restaurant.
I think that may be why I feel so at home there.
Well, I know it won't be the last time on this trip. After filling our tanks, we pointed west with the ultimate destination of Burlington, Colorado. But we had some exciting human and dog stops along the way.
What are the highlights of the day was the Wichita Air Museum, located in what is arguably the aviation capital of the world. This museum is located in an old airport terminal, which was renovated to hail the extensive history of this particular part of the country and aviation.
Now, this place had many names you would recognize. A lot of them are represented there in this museum. Cessna, Lockheed, Lear, Boeing, and many others, with a lot of artifacts and a huge assortment of planes, both inside and out, to tell the history of Wichita's connection to aviation. Extremely fascinating. But of course, it was not the only reason we stopped at this awesome museum.
But of course, they were pet friendly. We love to support pet friendly places. Our crew enjoyed not only visiting inside the museum, but also climbing up into the planes, including the Boeing 707, and checking out the bomb bay of a B-52D, which the Russians still keep tabs on with satellites to this day.
Never thought that the dogs would love an air museum as much as they did, but I think they had a blast.
They did, and I think the extra attention they received from other visitors at the museum possibly added to their enjoyment. Now, that was a fantastic start, but it was not the only location we had planned on the visit for this 7-hour trip to Burlington.
Stephanie pointed out that across the years that we have made this trip, we have inadvertently spent very little time exploring Indian artifacts. This is something we plan to do more of on this trip, and we thought no better place to start than the Keeper of the Plains Monument in Wichita. This 44-foot steel sculpture by Comanche artist Black Bear Boson sits where the Little Arkansas River and the Arkansas River meet. It is also located adjacent to the Mid-American All-Indian Center. Surrounding the base of the statue are multiple displays which describe local tribes that used to inhabit this area, as well as several fire pits which sometimes light up to illuminate the statue at night. It was quite a sight and a great representation of this area's rich Indian heritage.
After that, it was time to make up some time and scoot down the road to Burlington. Even though we had 3 hours to drive, we still had to feed the crew and make sure they get their last outing before we took them in for the night. Although we travel well over 3,000 miles and change the trip up quite often, we are always surprised when we inadvertently stumble upon a truck stop that we've visited before.
All right, wait a second. You sure it was not the call of the Bigfoot?
Do you know I didn't even think of that?
We were getting a little low on gas, and we also needed to feed our crew when we saw signs for a truck stop that happened to have a dog park. Many times we're traveling late, and we're able to take over these small fenced-in areas because, due to the late hour, we are the only ones there, and we take advantage of the space in order to feed our crew. This particular truck stop has a little bit of everything, including a 7-foot-tall Bigfoot statue who Stephanie visited with last year.
Don't speak ill of my handsome big guy. I was glad to see him again.
Now, that was the last stop for the day. Shortly thereafter, we made it into a local hotel in Burlington to finally take a rest and get ready for the next day.
A long drive, but a lot of great sights, and we're having a great time.
Ain't even there yet.